Hello friends, welcome back to Knowledge Factory. It's great to have you back. Are you struggling to read more books and remembering them afterwards? It can be challenging to make a book reading as a regular hobby, but it's worth it. Just look at what history's greatest leaders have achieved. Put in the effort and you will reap the rewards. Book reading not only offers you data, but it helps with your vocabulary, it enhances your visual imagination and strengthens your mindfulness or conscious awareness. This week I am presenting speed reading. Learn to read 200 plus page book in just 1 hour by Kam Knight. Speed reading has been a game changer for many as it builds reading skills and understanding of content. This book outlines practical tips to become better at reading and improving your speed. I am a huge fan of the tips in this book. They have totally changed my reading life. Plus there are some wonderful exercises you can do to make sure what you have learned straight away into practice. Super useful, right? So let's get into it. It is imperative that before you begin reading any book that you clarify or tell your mind why you are reading it. So the first tip here is to define the purpose. You have to know the exact reason why you want to read the text or article or any novel. When you state to yourself the reason why you want to read, you are more likely to complete the reading. When you give a clear purpose or goal to a reading task, your mind stops wandering and is more focused. Your attention is then taken away from anything else and all your energy is dedicated to understanding the material at hand. You can keep the purpose short and simple. Example, I would like to read this book because I want to know how to read faster. Before you start reading, you have to scan through the pages. It is very critical. Scanning through the pages and finding the main points of the text will help you better understand the text. Plus, you will be able to read faster as you will already have an idea of what's coming up in the text, so you can guess ahead. This helps your brain piece together concepts quickly and make sense of what's being said, so you are able to comprehend information at a faster rate. So let's look at how to preview books and manuals. First, read the front and back covers, review the table of contents, read the chapter headings, read samples of the texts, read the preface, read the full introduction and conclusion, skim through the book and take note of items in bold, italics, quotes and any diagrams or tables. Read the first and last paragraphs of each chapter, then read the whole book. When you want to remember the order of previews, you have to remember the word thieves. T stands for title, H stands for headings, I stands for introduction, E stands for every word in bold, underlined, quote and italics, then V for visuals, E for end of chapter questions, then finally S for summary or conclusion. Last important thing, you do not have to spend more than 5 minutes in previewing. The next important tip for speed reading is to use the space reading technique. It was invented by the author Kam Knight himself. When we read, we usually focus on each word or letter. We can't say that is wrong. It is simply a habit we have cultivated. Space reading directs you to avoid looking at the words you are reading, but rather at the spaces in between the words. This method is incredibly easy and useful. My reading speed was very low before using this method, but now it is approximately 400 words per minute when I use it. However, this method requires consistent practice. Here is an easy way to speed read. Instead of focusing on individual words, pay attention to the spaces between them. Start with 2 words, then 3 and every 4 words. After that, you can gather more information at a glance. With enough practice, you can advance to looking at only few spaces per row of text to quickly grasp the information in that row. Let's practice this method. Don't look at the words, but look at the dots that are between them. You are able to focus your mind on the dots, right? Then practice with a dot on every third word. When you read a text using the space reading method, your reading speed will increase. By practicing this method, you will be able to read fast. As I said, it requires consistent practice. Moving on to the third tip, stop subvocalization. Subvocalization is simply speaking in our mind while reading. We force the mind to read slower when we vocalize words out loud or in our heads. Essentially, the mind is forced to perform 2 tasks at once. The practice of communicating by reading aloud is contradictory here. We are here to read fast. If you want to practice loud to improve communication, then this is not for you. When we speak, it is really slow, approximately 200 words per minute. But if you eliminate subvocalization, you will be able to read faster and more efficiently. There are some more tips for eliminating subvocalization. While reading, close your mouth. Read faster than speech. A low, steady, continuous sound of reading. Then keep an habit of listening to music. Let's move to visual range, our fourth tip. It is the ability to see the objects that are not in the direct line of focus. If you expand your visual range, you can see what's in front of you and on either side without moving your eyes. If you expand your visual range, you will be able to read faster. Maybe you are thinking, how can I practice that? Don't worry, I'll answer. You can practice this with Schultz's table. Your task is to look at the central number 5 and with your visual range, read the rest of the numbers. Practice this with additional dimensions. Next, the most critical thing about reading is comprehension. If you don't understand what you are reading, you will probably not continue reading that book. The main thing you need to do is focus only on the main points. Most of the time, our brain pays attention to details. But if you want to understand the text, we must focus on main ideas. The main ideas will become apparent as you read. When you read more and more books, you will know what is the key idea. A simple way to recognize the main point is to recognize the levels embedded in any written composition. It begins with understanding the meaning of a sentence, then how that sentence fits into the paragraph, and then how the paragraph supports the larger chapter. Finally, how the chapter supports the overall piece. Another method is to build a strong vocabulary because it will make you read much faster. When you realize there is a word that you don't understand, circle it. At the end of a chapter, you have to look in the dictionary. Another effective way to expand your vocabulary is by talking to people who know a lot of words. People avoid talking to such people for two reasons. Either they don't feel smart enough or they perceive them as arrogant. Avoiding them, unfortunately, will not help you grow your vocabulary. Let's go to tip number 6 and a very crucial tip: how to remember what you read. When we read something, 80% of the things we forget. After reading a chapter in a book, try to explain to yourself what it was about and what are the main points. It's very important because it will help you remember what you read. This is called recall method. Another way to remember what you read is to visualize it. Do not wait until the sentence or paragraph or passage ends to begin visualizing. Simply allow the two activities to occur simultaneously. Also, do not stop at each sentence to complete the image, but move from sentence to sentence, forming images along the way. Finally, how to maintain good vision. The last important thing is to have a good eyesight. Some of the most essential eye exercise for maintaining good vision are: move left and right with your eyes and look as far as right as possible, then to the left. Another exercise is to eye roll. Everyone knows what an eye roll is, so I think it's not necessary to describe it. Repeat eye rolls 5 times a day. Don't forget to make sure to take regular breaks for your eyes. It's really important. Aim for 20 seconds up to 2 minutes of resting your eyes when you are not working or focusing on something. That's the best thing about this book. I love the simple approaches it covers for reading faster. Don't expect immediate results, though these things take time for one to master. Another good thing about this book is that it contains some practical guides and practical drills. These sections are where one can revisit and try. I'm practicing and gaining some results and hope to be able to read 200 pages in an hour soon. This week I would recommend yet again Sudha Murthy's book, The Day I Stopped Drinking Milk. The story revolves around her experiences with different people at different places. There are elements of kindness, firmness, politeness, betrayal, respect, history, religion, mythology, culture, humanity, and etc. This is highly recommended for children, those who want to develop reading habits, especially those who enjoy reading real life incidents. So that's it. See you in my next video. Bye.